It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great. Like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh, yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
And my name is Mike.
And this week, we're recapping San Diego Comic-Con 2025. We're not there.
God, freaking snuck up on me like a jump scare. Like, oh, it's happening.
Yeah, and be prepared to be very disappointed by how little we got from it in that regard. But at the end of the show, we will be reviewing Fantastic Four First Steps now in theaters from Marvel. So it's making a splash. So we'll talk about that and more on today's episode. I was going to do four things at the top because of Fantastic Four, but I was like, there is so little to talk about from San Diego Comic-Con. I was like, so I'm just going to jump into it, Mike, because we got a lot to kind of cover here. So we're going to get into this, but like San Diego Comic-Con, usually we're very excited, we're hyped. It hits us, we're refreshing the news. We're like, I'm using Twitter the one time a year. I use Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, to get the news and the stuff from the event, near the events. But this year, with Marvel Studios not going, DC only having a Peacemaker panel, and nobody else really going, it feels like a event in the wind. I don't know. Like, I don't have a good analogy for this, but I'm very whelmed.
Yeah, Comic-Con discourse is so funny because you're always going to have the old-timer that's just like, oh, this convention's not even about comic books anymore. That's like somebody almost kind of like shaking their fist that like nobody reads the newspaper anymore. Obviously, I love comic books, but you don't need a convention the size of San Diego Comic-Con to celebrate comic books. You have to bring other stuff in. Like, you can't, like, the comic book industry also is not as like big as it used to be. So like, you're actually looking at a really depressing reality. If you want Comic-Con to just be about comics, like, you're gonna be in like one of those presentation rooms in like a hotel, right? Mm-hmm. So I always think that's funny.
New York is a more comic based as well, I would say. Like, San Diego is a multi-media experience. New York does have some, but like some television and mostly comic books up there.
Also, like, I've always been somebody that's enjoyed spectacle, like, unapologetically. And it seems like sometimes people, like, want to make you feel bad for just, like, being around a lot of people, just, like, having a good time. And that's kind of what Comic-Con is. So I've always liked that Comic-Con was, like, big, loud, people everywhere, crowded, like, lines. Like, I'm the type of person that can like that kind of stuff. It's like communing with like your fellow, peers in a way. But yeah, that being said, when the big hitters like don't come down, the spectacle kind of tones down a little bit. And
right.
I still saw a lot of like fun like videos of like activations and cosplay. So all that stuff is still there. But I would say the draw radius starts to get a lot smaller. Like, I could just drive down there from LA, wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I would guess less people flying in from around the world for,
possibly
like this.
But I also would say it's one of those things where it just doesn't hit our circle for the show, right? Like, the things we talk about on the show, like, there's like, I know there's like a King of the Hill pop-up kind of event down there, right, to celebrate the new series and other things. Like, Dexter Resurrection has a panel kind of going on, things I've seen. But like, that doesn't really come into what we talk about here. So it's like, everywhere I'm checking the news, like, what's new? Nothing is really popping for what we use. And obviously we had Superman and Fantastic Four this month already, so there's nothing new coming out anytime soon. And it's just kind of like, well, there are cool things there. Again, when we were there, we did cool things that weren't superhero related. So it's just interesting.
Yeah, I saw a depressing graphic that was the next like kind of comic book superhero movie on the radar. I believe is Superhero, which is like
June.
Not like exactly a year away, but basically a year away for rounding purposes. So that's why you have to stay tuned to Superhero Slate, because when there's not a lot of movies slated to come out, that means they're all getting made, and we'll have like a lot of stuff to cover and talk about every week for the next year.
All the rumors. I think there might have been. I don't know if Amazon took a Spider-Man Noir panel there. I don't think it was a panel. Maybe some information. That might be the next. Is that the next proper superhero thing? I think is that. We got an animated show we'll talk about. We know Wonder Man. Peacemaker's next month. Peacemaker's in August. So we do have some shows on the way. But the movies is Supergirl and Spider-Man next July. So we've got a little bit of, I guess, a dry spout, I guess, to recover from that superhero fatigue that apparently doesn't exist out there in the world. But some of the things for San Diego Comic-Con are, again, properties we don't touch, things I've never had an affinity for, Mike. And one of those is going to be Masters of the Universe, a.k.a. He-Man. We know they've been filming a live-action movie for a while with Amazon. They have officially, quote-unquote, announced it with like a little title card that you can watch here, where it literally just goes through all the different ways and translations of Master of the Universe in the classic, I guess an updated version of the classic 80s font, if you will. I know it's coming out June of next year. Good for it, I guess. Mike, do you have any excitement for this? I mean, I'd love to see a good version. I did watch the bad version with Dolph Lundgren years ago. So I'm like, well, maybe they could do something with it, but I don't have that affinity. That a lot of people do.
I see it's Amazon Studios that's putting it out. It always makes me like reflect on their strategy, where they kind of seem to be picking up the scraps of IP. If you're not Disney and you're not Warner Brothers, you kind of just have to go hunt for things that you think are gonna resonate. So Master of the Universe is just one of those funny ones where it's like, yeah, a lot of people know He-Man, but like, that core demographic that drives the economy, what is it, like 18 to 35 or something like that, quickly not caring or knowing who He-Man is. So
I don't think anyone.
Maybe they'll bring it. Maybe they'll bring He-Man back to the masses.
35. I mean, I would say 35 would be the cap. Anyone under 35 or under wouldn't understand He-Man. They might know it adjacently, but it isn't like clamoring for that. But yeah, you say Amazon. To me, it's MGM who had it, I think, before they absorbed it. But who knows how long it's been working. So we'll see when this comes out. I wish it was just more of a trailer. Like if I'm getting hyped for Comic-Con, Mike, I want a little footage. Like the things when I think of He-Man, right, are the toys, the Battle Cat, He-Man, Manny Arm. Is it Man at Arms and Manny Faces, right? Like the weird character Skeletor, even though it's Jared Leto, don't want to talk about it. Like I want to see these weird characters in live action, and how are they gonna translate those? Because the show's it's that G.I. Joe era where it was made to sell toys. You gotta go that route. But if you want to see title cards, different languages, you can check it out here. Moving on. I forgot to link this in here. I'm gonna fix this link real fast, Mike. But did you see? You obviously caught the new Predator Badlands trailer, right? It showed before the movie.
Yeah.
It features a young Yautja, quote-unquote predator, as most people would call it. They wouldn't know what the species name is. And I believe it's Elle Fanning as a Weyland yutani synthezoid, which is from the Alien franchise. So
yeah, we got a little bit more of that in the trailer, which was exciting. I was waiting to tell you until we got to this moment. I have worked myself halfway through Killer of Killers, so like the first two mini stories, and it's really exciting. I don't know where the second half of the film is going, but I wasn't expecting at the end of every story, like the character is like has some sort of like sci-fi like neck brace on, and they're like trapped in like some sort of like cargo vehicle. So I was like, oh, what is this going to? So you obviously already know because you've seen it. So yeah. Maybe by next week I will have it finished.
Well, you're jumping ahead, so I'm going to go ahead. We'll talk. I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here. But
I didn't even. Yeah. I didn't even see you had a bullet point for this.
Yeah, Killer of Killers had a release. They actually added a new version with an extended ending of the movie on Hulu. So depending on when you started it, make sure. I don't know if they changed it or it's a different version. but there is a new extended ending on Hulu now as well.
All right, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna open up my Hulu app. I usually don't use Hulu on my phone, so it took me like I felt like half a day last week to figure out how to log in. Okay, where's my stuff? Where was I watching it? All right, Killer of Killers. Okay, it just says Predator: Killer of Killers. Is there like a different?
I don't think it's a different version. They just added extra. They just added more scenes to the end of it. An extended ending.
Well, it says my runtime is an hour 25.
Okay,
I don't know if that's what it was before.
Let me check Chris Flicks real fast because that will tell me. Because I downloaded the original when it came out, and that would be the right link there. But either way, I'm not going to tell you about the ending. I'm not going to say anything. It is for everyone to find out. Just there's a lot of spoilers in the titles online, which is sad, but I think you will have a good time with it. So, Killer of Killers. I have 84 minutes on mine, so 124 with credits. 1 hour 24. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and what did I say? I just had it open. We're doing some real investigative. I said at hour 25, so
yeah, okay.
I don't know if they're rounding up, but I don't know. I'll let you know how it ends. And you can tell me if I missed out on anything.
You'll figure it out pretty quick. But anyway, so back to Predator Badlands. We're jumping on. If you're following time codes, we just have a nice little Predator section here. I think people who like Alien and Predators of the 80s, I guess late 70s, 80s, are eating good this year because we had Predator: Killer of Killers. We have Badlands. We have Alien Earth. I'm pretty sure. This is purely speculation. This is not fact. This is not even something I've seen. But noticing that a lot of the Alien world stuff that is in Predator Badlands from the Aliens movies, there's a mechanized loader at the end. There's the Elle Fanning yutani robots. Is the actual Badlands the actual big predator on this world an actual alien? And this is like a secret Alien versus Predator movie we don't know about yet?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the fascinating thing about just like the Predator franchise in general is if you strip it down, it's like extraordinarily simple. Like you just have this alien race that loves hunting people. And if you like pull them out of their whole world and culture, they're just basically like a monster in like the woods that you have to run away from. And you can build like a whole fun story around that. But then you can kind of do what's happening here and you can explore this other side. They did this a little bit too in, what was it? Predators or The Predator? The one where Topher Grace is in it.
I think that was The Predator, which was where they brought humans to a unique planet. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was like kind of predator on predator interaction there. So I think this is fun. Looking forward to where it goes. It looks like I don't know what the plot is yet, but kind of based on some of the context from the trailer, it seems like the automaton cyborg android. I don't know what they synthezoid. I think that's what they call them, right?
Yeah.
The synthezoid wants to I think get off the planet or get out of there, continue their objective and directive. So they're going to help this kind of scrawny prepubescent predator like get their job done. So then in turn she can get off the planet. It seems like
it's interesting to kind of watch it because obviously Elle Fanning, she's playing the synthezoid with half a body as well. I didn't quite expect that. Like she's missing legs, so like she's like a backpack. Kind of thing, and I guess will be the human voice of the movie, if you will, watching it. So I'm interested. I'm very excited for this movie. Prey was a surprise sleeper hit. I'm just kind of excited to dive back into this world a little bit and see what it is. And obviously with Alien Earth coming up in this, featuring all the connections, I feel like they're culminating in something that we just don't know yet. We're gonna knock on wood and hope for the best later this year. A couple things for Star Wars that came out of I think San Diego Comic-Con. I'm not sure there were panels. I'm not sure if it was just like, hey, we did this thing, here you go. But first is the first photo of Eman Esfadi returning as Ezra Bridger in season 2. So he's back into his Ezra look from the Rebels TV show. So they're teasing that a little bit. Not a lot to glean from it. So we'll jump right into the next Star Wars bit. Was the first image of not first image we saw of the leaked trailer, but an official release image of Darth Maul in the upcoming Maul Shadow Lord animated series. And I think they've made some adjustments to his face in this to make him look a little more menacing. I don't know if it's his eyes, the way his mouth, like whatever they're doing here, but it's so good to see Darth Maul again. He was a great part of the Clone Wars. Love to see what he's up to when he's running that crime syndicate that we were teased at the end of Solo. And it's a pretty easy way to get back into it. I think they're gonna milk this Clone Wars animation style out of stuff for probably 3 more years.
It is kind of funny. I mean, they did a really, really good job when they initially kicked off this CG animated universe. They created a really strong art style that gave them more liberty than they could with live action, but also still resembled the world and the characters. But since it's been around for so long now, they're kind of like visually getting lapped by a lot of other studios at the moment. So I do kind of wonder, is there a future for animated Star Wars where maybe they could kind of reinvent themselves a little bit? I know they're doing a lot of experimentation with visions, but I mean, and this is, I will say for sure, this is definitely visually upgraded. I mean, like the clarity, resolution, polygons, whatever, I'm sure they're off the charts. I could see a lot of texture here, but yeah, I'm kind of curious maybe down the line in the future what do we got coming.
I think they need it so like this is all like looping in the same era, right? Like the Clone Wars era, right? Up until A New Hope. I would and obviously Rebels was different, but I'm thinking if they go as Star Wars plans is into the future of Star Wars, right? Post sequel trilogy, I think they need to go with a new visual style to represent that. And
I think that's good. And hopefully God, they need something to kind of like close out this like Clone Wars chapter, because you're right. I didn't really think about it until you just brought it up, but yeah, they have like mined the Clone Wars, I feel like, to oblivion for story. So I would love just some sort of like narrative like conclusion, like, all right, it's done. We're moving on.
Yeah,
we're either going to go back way further or we're going to press on forward.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I think, again, these things are kind of announced at Star Wars Celebration. I think 3 more years is what I give it. This will probably come out next year, and then they'll announce the next show or next little event, and then the final event is probably 2027, 2028. And that'll be in time for them to be launching, quote unquote, episode 10 or the Starfighter, like whatever they're doing forward. Those will be kicking off at the same time, and they can actually have a good start and stop point, like a good bookend, if you will. So, yeah, I liked this Darth Maul. He was always great in that show. He was a character who was allegedly killed, brought back in Legends, and then pushed forward again. So, check that out in the show notes. Have you heard of the film Ne Zha 2?
Wait, is this? I'm using some context clues. Is this like a Chinese movie?
Yes.
That made like an ungodly amount of money the first time around?
$2.19 billion this year alone. And 2.17 is from China, so not a lot here. But this is an animated movie. I would say a la Pixar, but it explores the consequences of this character's defiance against the heavens, an internal struggle of being born a quote-unquote demon child born of chaos. This movie is getting a U.S. release with English voice. It had a Chinese subtitle release, but now they're doing an English dub version in theaters later this year for May 24.
And yeah, I'm taking a look at it now. I think I remember there's this thing that my Instagram algorithm likes to do to me where it shows me movie clips from movies that like nobody ever watches, and then they just try to find like the 20 seconds of like where all of the like visual effects money went to. So it'll be like some like random movie from like the mid 2000s where they did some like cool CGI of a dragon, and then I get like a brief glimpse of like an actor, and I go, oh, okay, I remember that movie. Nobody went and saw it. So I feel like those same type of accounts probably showed me some of the first version of this movie. I was like, I don't think that's a a movie I've ever heard of before. The visual style looks, I would say it looks on par with something like feature quality.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is. I mean, it's a feature-length film in China that's made again over $2 billion. So I don't know anything about it. Do I need to watch the first one to watch the second one, kind of thing? I'm intrigued. When something makes this much money, why did it do that? How did it do it? Is it worth it? Again, not to get the cultures. Does China not get a lot of movies? And this is like the one they got.
Well, I think the real the answer is this is kind of like state sponsored media, where the government would really like it if you went and saw this movie. But also, like, there is a thing to it. Like, imagine if we grew up where like 90% of the movies that were ever in theaters were foreign films, and like now they're finally to a place where they're making movies like for me now, even though the message is probably very like pro government. But I mean, there's a lot of people over there buying movie tickets, so you can't turn an eye at that money. That's for sure.
Each movie took 5 years to produce in this 2-movie sequel or franchise so far, so it's interesting. So. Yeah, I mean, it's got good reviews, not from just there, from other people. So I'm interested to check this out and see what kind of what it makes over here. What if this thing? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say I passively watch it, but it's not like something I need to see in theaters. I feel, despite everybody else seeing it in theaters. Let's shift into some comic book related stuff. Clayface, Mike, is a report on the plot. Out of this, I don't know if it was out of this weekend, just overall, is that the movie centers on an ascending actor whose face is disfigured by a gangster. As a last resort, the actor turns to a fringe Elizabeth Holmes style scientist. I don't know who Elizabeth Holmes is, for help. At first, the experiment is successful, but wouldn't it be a horror movie? It wouldn't be a horror movie. The story ended right there, would it? I don't know who said this, but I know they were talking about casting people in this movie this week. They didn't officially cast anybody. It was just reports. So it sounds like it's going to be someone who takes some sort of serum and eventually turns into a monster, a la what was that Demi Moore movie last year?
The Substance.
Yeah, it sounds like The Substance, but comic book related.
Well, it reminds me a little bit of the origin in Creature Commandos of the character Alan Tudyk plays. Like, what's his name? The radioactive
Dr. Phosphorus.
Dude. Dr. Phosphorus. Yeah, I mean, obviously not an actor, but he got in it wrong with the mob. They threw him into like a nuclear oven or whatever, and then he turned into like super powered. But then the story goes, I'm going to kill the bad people that did this to me, but also mercilessly, so I'm still kind of the bad guy. So I feel like that's probably what they're doing here with like Clayface, of just like, well, Clayface is a bad guy, but it's kind of hard to go write a narrative just around a bad guy. You know, kind of want to go to a movie and watch somebody like win and overcome. So like, we'll have him overcome, but like we'll just have him kill other bad people. So I'm not saying that's a bad story, but that kind of feels like maybe what they're gonna do.
Well, that I don't know if he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna go full on evil. I think he might become one of those situations also where he doesn't want to become physically ugly or physically like have an issue as he like morphs into a clay monster because he's an actor, right? Like, so is it the conflict of like who is he lashing out at? What is he doing to try to solve his problems? But I guess we'll know more. This will probably start filming soon. It comes out reported October of next year. So if we get any changes, any official castings, we'll let everybody know. However, DC at Comic-Con did bring a Peacemaker panel, and they gave us an official trailer released out of San Diego Comic-Con with a synopsis. It says, the match with the trailer, essentially. In Season 2, Peacemaker discovers an alternate world where life is everything he wishes it could be, but the discovery also forces him to face his traumatic past and take the future into his own hands. I thought everybody was tired of multiverse stuff. I literally thought James Gunn said everyone didn't want a multiverse anymore, so this is really surprising to me that they are leaning into this alternate reality stuff, as fun as it is. I'm not knocking the premise or the show yet. Just really, I'm surprised he leaned so into it with Peacemaker.
Yeah. Also, too, I think after Superman came out, he said something along the lines of, if you want to know where we're kind of taking things over here at DC. Check out Peacemaker next. So if like the story component is very like multiversal, going out to other like parallel dimensions, it seems like they're going to tell up that story. And I have like two thoughts about it. Of one, yes, I thought everyone was sick of multiverses and maybe they would pivot and try to do something a little different. But at the same time, the world in which they introduced us to in Superman is like very open and accepting of like the weird. Like the imp that's just floating around in the background, I believe was described as an interdimensional imp.
Yes.
So like they just kind of casually have mentioned like these other dimensions
and
exist.
the pocket universe. Yeah,
they go to a pocket universe. So if they are going to go multiversal, they don't kind of have to move heaven and earth and make multiple movies to make the multiverse make sense, like kind of Marvel had to do since they were much more grounded. So I feel like maybe they're kind of creating a situation in which we could dip into the multiverse, really only address it for like a show or a movie or two, and then we can kind of like keep it going, abandon it, only bring it up when we need to.
I think they'll nix it after this season. I think after the season, when they can bring what they want from the original DC EU through Peacemaker into the James Gunn's DC proper, they'll just like, oh, we had to blow up all the interdimensional portals, and this is where we are now, kind of deal, right? Like get it where we want them, and then cut it off. At that. But it was fun to see, like, you know, there's like different versions of like Peacemaker where he's riding his motorcycle, he's talking about the clothes. James Gunn's wife, Jennifer Holland, I can't think of her character's name. Harcourt. You know, she's like an office worker. He looks like he's happy having drinks with his dad. We'll probably get to see his brother that was, you know, who was killed, you know, or dead before the other season started. And some other probably zany things. Like they had like, what was it? Tim Meadows opened a portal with like a skull spider walking around, and they're like, no. So,
and I think, I mean, we see more Frank Grillo Sr. For sure in this, but I think he's going to be at least in the plot enough to where I think I saw a headline that said he's in like the opening credits, like they made him dance, which is, I guess it's something he didn't really want to do or was like nervous or apprehensive about it. So I feel like if you're a character dancing in the Peacemaker opening, you are pretty integral to the plot. And even the little ninja boy from the first season, he's highlighted in this trailer as coming back. So I'm excited. This, I mean, we always talk about like, does stuff pass the mom test? I also have the wife / partner / girlfriend test, and my wife is stoked. She like routinely asks me like maybe like every month, like, when's Peacemaker coming back? I'm like, oh boy, you should be excited.
Do people like does she really like Peacemaker? Does she just like watching the opening sequence? And then after that, she's like, yeah, I had a good time. I remember the dance.
I mean, there's a lot of fan service. I mean, you get a lot of tighty whities, and a lot of pectorals.
Yeah, I've got no issues. I think it'll be fun. It's a lot more zanier, even though the first one was about like little like fireflies that take over people's heads, right? Kind of thing. I think this will be keep in step with that. It was also funny to see his little sidekick throwing the beers towards one of the other guys, and he couldn't catch it, and she's like, just walk it over, like, kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what some these characters would do in the show. Like I was like, yeah, it feels familiar. And then also the next thing we have on Twitter is an official photo of James Gunn behind the scenes with a little rubber suited monster and his little rat like buddy, as the caption calls. So no one online could really pinpoint what this alien was and what the little creature was he was holding, but I was like, oh, this is interesting. They're leaning into some, like I said, zany designs of multiverse stuff, aliens and stuff in this one. So pretty cool overall. That's coming out August 21st. We are less than a month away, so that's awesome for anyone who's that. So we'll probably get the the other thing with this, we didn't talk about it, doesn't affect our show much, but obviously Ozzy Osbourne passed this week, and they had an Ozzy song in the trailer, and I was like, man, that's like, I think they had that planned before he died, but I'm like, that probably like punches another emotional, like, you know, uppercut to people watching the show, because you're like, oh yeah, that's kind of one of those things. So check out that trailer and our show notes. Let us know what you think. All right, one of the longest, I'm going to say stupidest things I've ever written in our show notes is coming up, Mike. Because we're going to talk about Superman. That's not against Superman at all. But James Gunn has revealed the entire Hall of Justice memorial that is briefly seen. In this
extremely
movie.
Briefly. I've seen so many like still screenshots of cams where they're like, "Is that the Flash? Is that the Flash?" And
I thought they
like
were
now,
Watchmen characters. Like just at first glance, I'm like, oh, half of these are Watchmen characters.
It is very Watchmen. I mean, I know you have the detailed information of who all these people are on this like tapestry, if you will.
Yeah.
But just me as a casual DC person, I don't know any of these people except at the very end that's supposed to be Maxwell Lord.
You're going to know two of these people, essentially. Because one of them, so I'll go through the names. I'm not going to describe who they are. I wrote it down so everyone could. But Zatara, the father of Zatanna, or Zatanna.
Oh, the magician guy here at the end of the first panel.
On the first row, yes. So you're familiar with him simply because of that relation there. The person on the bottom left, Liberty Bell, is the mother of Jesse Quick, who I believe was in the Flash episodes, right?
Yeah, she was in the show.
Yeah, so that's about it. I'm just going to read the names here. Madame Xanadu. So she's the far left. I think this goes from like farthest.
This looks chronological.
Yeah, chronological. Yeah, so Madame Xanadu, Silent Knight, Exoristos, Black Pirate, Miss Liberty, Whip Whirlwind, who is going to come back, actually. So remember Whip Whirlwind. Super Chief, El Diablo, Iron Monroe, the Ghost of Flanders, not Ned Flanders, Sandman 1, but not the Sandman who just had the TV show, Amazing Man, Zatara, Liberty Bell, Bullet Man, Max Mercury, who is also Whip Whirlwind. It's the same character. He is so fast. He's a speedster, and he time travels on accident, essentially, because he can't get into the Speed Force. Bullet Girl, TNT, Dan the Dynamite, Phantom Lady, Atomic Knight, Freedom Beast, Wildcat, Vibe, Gunfire, and Maxwell Lord. My favorite is Gunfire, Mike, the guy who looks like Stryker from Mortal Kombat there in the end.
Yeah, he looks like the epitome of like a 90s comic book.
If you picked up, yeah, exactly. He has the ability to turn any object into a gun.
Oh my God, that's like 12-year-old me's like just routine like playtime.
Yeah,
I'll pick up a long broom, make one out of Legos.
Yeah. So this is what I've included all the descriptions of who they are, their powers in the notes. I'm not going to go through it, but you can go check those out. These are very obscure random heroes through time, but James Gunn has said since this has come out that at least 2 of the 26 heroes in the mural are important to an upcoming DCU project. And I'm going to bet Maxwell Lord is one of them.
Yeah,
for
sure.
That's his brother. I mean, come on now. But also he's in Peacemaker. He's been in some other stuff. I would probably say the third lady over, her name is Exoristos. She's an Amazon from Themyscira. And I know they're doing the Paradise Lost stuff. That could be her. That would be the only one I would pick out of a lineup, if you will. So, anyway, that's the mural, Mike. Superman also is just crossed 500 million box office overall. So I think someone said that's like the number Warner Brothers needed it to hit to be considered a success. I don't think anyone had any concerns about that. And it's still trucking along in theaters. So congratulations to everyone who worked on that. Moving on, announced, I don't think it was San Diego. I think it was just San Diego adjacent. For Booster Gold, David Jenkins, creator of Our Flag Means Death, will be writing the pilot for the series. And if successful, obviously, will become the showrunner of this. One of the interesting parts of this is this is the project that he literally says he inherited it from Danny McBride. And Gunn alluded months ago to the creator or showrunner who fell out of love with Booster Gold. So it sounds like Danny McBride fell out of love with this project, and now they're handing off to David Jenkins. So,
yeah, I mean, that would have been excited to see Danny McBride's take. If you are fans out there of The Righteous Gemstones, that was like very much Danny McBride's show, and he directed a lot of episodes, some to like very intense degrees, like even though it was like a comedy. But Our Flag Means Death was a great show. It only got 2 seasons, but I love the writing and the characters in the world. And it's very satirical because that was like a Taika Waititi project. So this feels like kind of like a really good match for a character like Booster.
Yeah. Also, I call the Taika Waititi poisoning. Like if it gets 2 and then it's killed off if he touches it usually these days. But no, I think that's right. And Danny McBride, I always remember. Did he wrote Eastbound and Down and created Eastbound and Vice Principals as well, right before the Gemstone. So like shows I've really enjoyed over time as well. So. Absolutely, Teddy's not on it, but nothing against, David Jenkins here. So we'll probably be getting some news on this. Maybe New York Comic-Con, maybe come next year. If he's just writing the pilot, they'll probably have to work on that first, right? Get that ironed out. Shifting gears over to Marvel, the flip side. Interesting news here, Mike. The Eyes of Wakanda will be releasing on Friday, August 1st, instead of August 27th. So all 4 episodes will be dropping this Friday on Disney+.
Okay.
And again, 4 animated. So it's an anthology show, I think, that follows warriors throughout Wakandan history, tasked with traveling the world to retrieve vibranium artifacts. I know it's just a result of Killer of Killers coming out first, but I get the same vibe of it. Like 4 little episodes. If they put them in a movie, they probably would have been. Wakanda, Eyes of Wakanda, the movie instead of Killer of Killers kind of thing, like 4 time traveling segments. So, I've not seen any more else on this. So, I will be at Gen Con this coming week. Again, reminder, come see me at the Asmati Games booth or, shoot me a text message, however you want to get a hold of me. We'll hang out. But I will not be able to watch this by next week, but, sounds like a fun little present to drop early on Disney Plus for us. Moving on, The Punisher, his special series. I don't think it has a name yet. It's currently filming, and we get a picture of John Bernthal, full beard, dark hair, covered in blood, and a baseball bat, Mike. And there have been some other set videos of him in this Punisher outfit with the skull going on here. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a brutal special presentation, if you will.
Yeah, I am kind of unfamiliar with what he's been up to in kind of like this Netflix television universe. When you meet up with him in this newer season of Daredevil, him and Karen are like alluding to some things that have happened in the past, and I don't know, like, are they talking about the 2nd season of Daredevil or 2nd season of Punisher that I never watched, or are they just talking about his past in general? So I'm curious if maybe any of that's going to get resolved in the special presentation or not.
Yeah, I've heard it's based on a book called Welcome Back, Frank, where he kills this gangster's like kids, and she comes back out to and like sends like all the police that she's purchased, like they're on her payroll after him and stuff like that. So it might be adapted from that. I'm not going to say it's exactly, but I don't think this is the Punisher we're going to get right here in this image in Spider-Man, Mike. I think this is going to be the one they're going to have to tone back a hair. I don't think we're going to get him covered in blood with a baseball bat going on. But this looks like kind of like how we found Frank at the beginning of his show of the Punisher, right? When he was like working in construction. Like he grew out his beard a little bit. Was like, obviously if you grow a beard, no one's going to recognize you. That's what I've learned in life. So we'll see what this goes to, and hopefully we'll get a name soon. I fully expect this to come out like right after Daredevil next year, right? Like we're going to get Daredevil, and then we're probably going to get this in like May, and then go right into Spider-Man in July is what I'm guessing.
I think Marvel should just go full Marvel on this Punisher special presentation. Just like have it just be like 60 minutes. Like don't even do like a whole like try to like 90-minute movie or whatever. even 40 minutes. Just make the narrative like really simple, like what you're saying, of just waves of like crooked cops come after him, and it's just like this amazing like 40-minute like action like set piece where he just goes nuts. But he's going absolutely nuts in New York City, and at the very end of it, freaking like Spider-Man shows up, and then credits, and then you're just like ready to be launched into like a Spider-Man movie. Like, I feel like it's been a long time in the Marvel universe where like we have just been electrified at the ending of something. I'm not saying I haven't been satisfied by some narratives recently, and like, oh, that was like a nice ending. Like I'm glad everyone had their emotional arcs and everything. But like, man, like I want to be like electrified, like how I was at the end of Spider-Man. What's the second one called? Far From Home.
Far From Home, yeah.
Far From Home, when like Mysterio just like freaking doxes like Spider-Man to the whole world, and he makes the meme face where he's like, oh no, and then it's like credits roll. Like, I would love some of that like electrification like back. So there's a chance they could do something like that here.
Yeah, I think it's I agree. I think they should connect them, because we haven't, like, one of the big misses, we've talked about this over the past 5 years, is WandaVision should have ended, then Doctor Strange should have been like a month later, right? Like, they should have fed right into it. Like, that would have been awesome. Like, oh my God, can't believe this is how the show ends. And then the next movie, you're like, oh my God, we're getting right into it. And instead of like have like a 2-year kind of window. And I know there's productions and schedules and stuff like that, but they're big enough and they have money. They can make it work. So I agree with you. They should absolutely end this where it feeds into the next project that he's in, if you will. So hopefully we get something like that. I'm honestly, I'm thinking New York Comic-Con, Marvel Television will land and give us probably an extended preview of Wonder Man. We'll probably get the Punisher title. We'll get a Daredevil season 2 teaser, and maybe the next project they'll announce after that. Like, was it Jessica Jones Born Again or something? Maybe they do Heroes for Hire and bring back a Luke Cage Iron Fist at the same time. I don't know. So, but Punisher special presentation looks to be shaping up to be pretty fun, pretty gruesome. All right, we promised you at the start of the show we're gonna get into it, Mike. We saw Fantastic Four First Steps this week. Both of us were able to go to the theaters to watch it, and it sounds like a lot of other people have gone to see it as well. Currently, on box office is sitting around $218 million on a Sunday afternoon, but they'll probably revise that upwards. They tend to go low and then go up, revise upwards for to show how good a movie is. Into Monday, so we'll get the box this weekend. But $218 million puts it on par with Superman's $220 million. As we say here, we don't need to beat Superman. Superman doesn't need to beat us. A rising tide lifts all ships. So as long as we're all getting good superhero movies, that's what matters. I did know it was the biggest Thursday of 2025. I went on Thursday night at 9:15. Probably the latest I've seen a movie in theaters in a long time. And it was packed. Like, the lines to get snacks were full. I do want to give a shout out to my wife, who went and picked up the Herbie popcorn snack and drink vessel at AMC for me, and that thing, right now, Mike, that is my number one movie, I guess, popcorn vessel that we would rank for this year, hands down. It takes the number one slot. It does
it fits like all the kind of rough kind of categories that we established at the beginning of the year, right? Of like, first of all, it's just visually stunning on its own. You could mistake it as a like kind of like statue or collectible. It has the gimmick of it does everything. Like, it's a what is it? It's a drink.
The head's
candy.
Yeah, the drink,
popcorn.
The drink is a rubber sealed drink holder at the top with a straw hole. The front chest piece opens up as a separate compartment for candy, and then the back opens up, and the rest of it's hollow for popcorn. And then the secret piece I didn't know about is you pull the battery tab, Mike. It's got batteries, and one of the knobs on his face turns on a projector, and it projects the Fantastic Four logo out of his face onto a wall for you.
Yeah, that's insane. When you told me it had a projector on it, I didn't even follow up, because I was like, I need to hear in person what that even means. So yeah, this is going to be a hard popcorn bucket to be. What was the price point?
It was I think I sent it to you. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it back up here. Did I send you the price? I think you asked me.
Oh, it is. It was like it's like $58 or something like that. I think.
Maybe not.
Yeah, 57.95 here at the AMC shop.
I think she paid $70 and got literally a large drink, a large popcorn, and a large, or in a full size candy with it as well.
Yeah, I mean this thing is just. I mean for that price, if you just sold this like in the toy aisle, right? Like, and it didn't have any compartments in it, it would probably sell for like $45. So I would say value is strong here because it does like so many different things.
His arms move, and like his little fingers are actually like on hinges, so he can grasp things, or you can pose them a little bit as well.
Oh yeah, he's fully articulated.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know what? This is actually kind of blowing my mind here. A lot of people were running in to buy the Galactus popcorn bucket and then like trying to sell them online. I don't need a popcorn bucket that fucking big. Like, what are you gonna do with that? Like, after the first month, does the novelty wear off? And you're like, where do I put this? It's fine. You sent me a 3D printed Galactus. I've seen people 3D print the Galactus popcorn bucket as well. So, it's just one of those things. Like, yeah, that's cool, but like, this is the one. This is, if you get a chance, this is the one at AMC. Absolutely, highly recommend it. And also another shout out to Superfan Jim, who was in town this weekend and got to go see Fantastic Four with me. It was fun it's fun when you have a group of people going to the movies, right? To watch it. So
always.
Thanks for being here for that. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of anything else. Anything else before we jump in?
I had a chance to watch the 2000s Fantastic Four movie for the very first time, which was like fun homework. I just kind of threw it on in the background. So it was nice to kind of have like the context of like, what was kind of like the last kind of outing of the Fantastic Four.
That
movie's so crazy.
You forgot 2016 Fantastic
Oh my God,
Four.
it's so bad I forgot about it. Yeah, the last one that made cultural impact, I guess. Is,
the one
is
people think on fondly. How about that?
That first Fantastic Four movie wastes no time. They are like in the conference room with Victor Von Doom, like pitching like they're going to space or something, like in like 30 seconds. I was like, this movie's already going. I felt like I walked into the movie after it had been going for like 10 minutes. So they waste like no time. It's that cheesy kind of early 2000s comic book movie, but product of its time.
Yeah.
But it was a good primer.
Yeah, good primer, because you came into something entirely different here with Fantastic Four First Steps. From Marvel. So I don't even know how to segue. I don't know how to transition into this. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first? What do you want? How do you want to handle this?
Yeah, I mean, we'll do some spoiler free stuff here just real quick. I'll just say like this is an easy recommend. This is one of those rare Marvel movies that is just like visually striking. You know, if you are ever worried about something being Marvel formulaic, the visual style for this is totally different. I didn't notice this. I don't know if this has been happening for a while or not, but one of the lead concept artists over at Marvel, like Ryan Meinerding.
Yeah.
He is in the primary ending credits of this movie as like a co-producer.
Yep.
Like he's not just relegated to like the black and white scrolling credits. He had like one of the splashy like title cards before you kind of see the first like mid-credit scene. So I got to imagine that's because he just leaned hardcore and just the visual development of like everything going on in this movie. And it's like it's amazing. It's kind of like one of those things where like, when you go and see like a movie from like an auteur like director, at least like visually it's going to be stunning, like the camera work's going to be great or whatever, and then you just kind of hope everything else falls in place. So it's kind of nice like going into like this Marvel movie, I knew like right away, like, this is so visually impressive. Like even if the story like doesn't deliver, there's like so much fun I'm going to be able to take out of this. Yeah. And then like the story delivers. Like I love the characters. I love the plot. Like I feel like if also you're thinking back on your your Marvel formulas, the beats that you're gonna hit, you kind of expect like, okay, where's my action scene? Kind of where is the lower level henchmen so we can kind of see them use their powers and stuff like that. I felt like the narrative is almost slightly unconventional for kind of how Marvel paces their stuff, and it was kind of like fresh take.
It kept you guessing, didn't it? Like to me,
yeah.
For the plot, I'm like, oh, I could see where I'm waiting for X, I'm waiting for Y, I'm waiting for Z, but then they never came like the way I expected them to. Like it kept kind of it would kind of juke you a little bit. You're like, oh, that was different. I didn't expect that, and in a good way, right? Like I wasn't like I felt like I knew how everything was going to play out. So I will echo that sentiment from you as well.
Yeah, and there's kind of major and minor characters related to the Fantastic Four universe that you don't really think are going to get any screen time, and then they kind of become part of the plot later on.
Mm-hmm.
I just everything about this movie is great. I feel like I don't know exactly what's keeping me from maybe putting it in my top 3 or top 5, but it's definitely top tier.
Yeah.
If I had to kind of put it in a category, this is up there with the best of them. So I don't know exactly what will push me over the top of saying this is one of the best ones.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just going to be another rewatch. Maybe it'll be time. But I am so glad that this is where they're starting with the Fantastic Four. I mean, the sky's the limit with this family, these characters. We'll see where this specific 818 world
828.
828. We'll see how it expands or where it goes, or if we come back and revisit or what's happening here. But we had a great time, so much fun, easy recommend. Chris, what did you think about it? Spoiler for me.
I think it's great as well. I agree with you. I can tell you I have a feeling I know why this movie is not the best Marvel movie I've ever seen, but it's not a stretch, wink wink, to get there for it. What I love about this movie, it's a competent team of people. As you recently watched the 05 version, right? You have a lot of people with that Fantastic Four is very flawed. This one, they've been the Fantastic Four for 4 years. They know their powers. They know how to work as a team, and that competency actually helps the movie become better, right? You're not worried about the Thing thinking he's ugly because he's all full of rocks, or Johnny isn't just being a dick to him to be a dick like the other movies. They're actually working together, having a good time as a quote unquote family, right? It's Marvel's first family. They are a family. Are all the moments perfect? No, but that is what makes them awesome in this to me. Kind of like the original one. You said this movie also wastes no time. We get it's a really fun montage. The intro, Act 1 is them, the TV host recapping the Fantastic Four, showing off some villains they fought and some other moments throughout this. I really enjoyed the characters. I've seen a lot of people say this is a Sue Storm movie. It absolutely is. I think would be considered the leader of the team, if you will, at the end of the day here in this movie. And that's great because the actress, I'm blanking on her name.
Vanessa Kirby.
I want to say Elizabeth. No, Vanessa Kirby does a great job. The visuals are fantastic. Like I said, I don't worry about that. The aesthetics is great. The one thing I will say, and I think what's preventing me from making this the best of the best Marvel movies, is that the villains' motivations are just our standard Marvel fare. They're not fully baked in my view. We should have spent some more time with the villains, or the antagonist, if you will. And I think that would have maybe made them more of you feel more for their plight rather than just, hey, they're a huge Galactus trying to eat the Earth, right? Kind of thing.
And it is kind of a hard thing to solve, and we'll dance around this so it's not spoilery. But when you have such a physically gigantic kind of villain, their motivation is purely simple. I mean, everybody knows what Galactus wants to do and what he's trying to achieve. So it's kind of how much humanity can you give to something like that? But overall, for what they did,
Yeah.
I felt like it worked, and we got some amazing set pieces out of it.
Oh, absolutely. Again, nothing against what we got. I just think that would have been like, there's a point where Galactus tells you his backstory. Well, don't tell us his backstory, Mike. Show us his backstory, right? That would have been, I think, even cooler. Like, right? Like, that would have been like, oh, hell yeah, let's look at that. Overall, love all the characters. Love them coming together. Love, like, the New York City they built. The city itself is a character, it feels like, in this. I will say one of the best parts of this, and you may disagree, I don't know, is that obviously the Fantastic Four is science based. They have future technology. They have Herbie. Everybody wants their own Herbie. Mike, you want your own Herbie. They're running around the house for you. Is that they made Reed write on chalkboards. They didn't give him nanotechnology. They didn't push it to like, oh, he's at the cutting edge of holograms and like tablets. He's still using 1960s based chalkboards and chalk to solve problems, and I love that. Like, they didn't push him too far to where he was unbelievable in his scientific genius, and to me that was a really, really awesome step to this. And we can get into spoilers. I know you want to, I want to, but I think a huge recommendation from both of us, right? Like, I think I want to go back and watch it IMAX because of how big some of the characters are in this. Like, I would love to go back and see that scale and scope of that. Anything else before we jump into spoilers? I'm going to mark the code here for everybody.
Yeah, let's jump on in.
All right, we are jumping in to spoilers. So, Mike, as a new parent, did this movie touch you differently?
Oh my gosh. Oh yes, absolutely. We were like, oh, we got to see the baby right away. We got to get out of here. I got to hug my child. My wife said she almost teared up a couple of times at some of the moments in this movie, and it's kind of great. Like, they competently integrate this baby in just the right quantity and just the right way, right? Because a baby can't do everything, even if they have the power cosmic, so you have to use them like strategically. Absolutely love the joke at the end of them trying to put the car seat in, like, just a great bit. Love that bit of Marvel humor for sure. I want that I want that car seat. I want that bassinet, that carrier, that Fantastic Four one, that blue chrome and everything. It looked great. It was also just like my single favorite portion of the movie, and I'm curious if maybe even if you agree, is when they are the Silver Surfer chase scene through the wormhole,
through the black hole. Yeah.
It's just it's fantastic. Yeah. Everyone is like operating at max capacity. You have Johnny Storm trying to figure out how to like blast like through a wormhole, right? You have
Sue's giving birth,
woman, like trying to give 0G birth. Yeah. Mr. Fantastic like trying to like use his stretchiness to like pin her down on the table. He's also like pulling levers. Like, yep. Ben Grimm being like an awesome pilot he is. It was just like so cool. And then they like have to use like that neutron star thing. Yep. And then the great part about having these characters well established and just kicked off well at the beginning of the movie is just like, yes, I do believe Reed Richards can do these calculations off the top of his head, and he can get the Silver Surfer stuck in a gravity like bind for like a month. Yeah. I believe that they could find their way back home without their faster than light travel like booster. Like, all of this stuff is believable because they've created this world in which we can just sit down and enjoy this movie because everything is just firing off on all cylinders.
Yeah. And they're competent. Like I said, they're competent people. Like, Johnny is actually like, a linguist and a pilot. Like, he's helping as well. Like, it's not like, oh, what does the Playboy Johnny do? Anything? He's just a pretty face. No, he actually in the comic books is part of the team as well. He wasn't just a pretty face brother who showed up, right? Kind of like how I feel the first movies kind of did him. And
yeah, I love them. I love the moment when the Silver Surfer first arrived, and all of those kind of like comets are trailing through the atmosphere, and like Johnny's just like, I'm on it, don't worry about it. Flies like right over to it, and it's just like, yeah, this is like a team. Yeah. Like the world, the city has like rallied around them. They are like these like kind of like shiny beacons. it's really easy to imagine a different version of this movie where somebody's just like, nah, I want to push back against this idea of superheroes, and I'm going to make one of them like seedy, or like, this is a great place to bring in Doctor Doom, where they all get powers except for Doctor Doom, and he's the bad one.
Or Mole Man. Mole Man's
Yeah,
like rallying against them, and he never really did rally against them. It was a fun little cameo. He just comes in and just knocking shit off the desks.
Yeah, I love Paul Walter Hauser, obviously, and I like how they make him believable as an antagonist of just like, oh, he doesn't like the surface dwellers, but we have seen Susan and her ability to kind of be like a master diplomat, and he only trusts her, so he'll do whatever for her because he just has like a sweet spot for her. So I like that characterization. It worked really well for him.
And his joke, well, he was like that dry humor. He's like, wipe your feet. Just kidding. It's all dirt. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like he's having some, like, all the characters are having a good time. They're all in this.
Yeah.
Also,
if this was the main MCU universe and they introduced an underground city or utopia or world or whatever, I would have lost it. I would be like, absolutely in no way am I believing in our main Marvel universe that there is an underground society. Like, get out of here. Like, you've lost the plot. But they have the advantage of they can put silly stuff like that in this universe.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think one of the things, so, we'll talk a little bit about Galactus. Galactus, he just wants Franklin, and that just kind of just, they literally show up. He's like, I only want one thing, it's the child. Okay, and that's it. And then, like, this is such a narrow focus of, like, what he wants and what he wants to do. He's like, yeah, give me the kid, and you can't eat the planet. And then, they come back and they tell the people of Earth that. I'm like, this is all convenient, right, to do this. It's a very convenient way to send Galactus to Earth. But one of the fun things I saw about Galactus was when Johnny blew up the hoses on his back, and then, like, when Reed opened up the little, they're not portals, but, like, they opened his suit's holes, and he's, like, bleeding lava.
They're almost like vents.
Yeah, like he's bleeding lava, like it like hurts him. I'm like, that's a really cool effect. Like, that is a fun way to see this. And before I forget, I have two links here. Ralph Innes was in Innocent was in a actual Galactus suit for when they shot him as well, for the mocap. He wasn't just a face that they put on him. He was in a fully done up Galactus suit here. And then you can if you click through, you get to see the second photo, which shows the days like he was like on set, which I think is cool. I love the Galactus design. I think it's really, really awesome. I'm glad they didn't do like the projection version of him. Like, he actually was just a big character walking around doing stuff. It
felt great.
I actually didn't expect them to go to space and spend like a month plus in space of like in movie time. That was a kind of a, I know we danced around the idea with the trailers, but I didn't actually think they'd go up there and do that, because the second they go from faster than light through when they get back was a hell of a sequence overall, right? Like, that sequence is just fantastic again. It's just great to watch. Felt really cool, kind of like, again, different than what we've seen before in a lot of Marvel movies, where they played it safe.
I also wasn't expecting like a backstory to Shalabal also. We kind of connect with her on an emotional level. She's not always been a herald. She was like a real person that sacrificed herself to save her planet. And then, she's the one that kind of makes the sacrifice at the very end. Felt very kind of closed-looped type of situation. She gets her redemption and everything, but also Johnny gets his moment to sacrifice himself, but, obviously it doesn't go all the way through.
Yeah. Did you think they were going to kill Susan Storm off at the end for real? As long as they milk that out a little bit?
I mean, maybe I could have possibly believed it for a moment, because they were selling it pretty well.
It was forever. It took a long time to
get the
baby.
She had a really badass moment, because that's always a pet peeve that I'm looking out for. Like, how are our heroes overcoming at the very, very end? It's got to be special in some way. And the special component is like Susan is willing to sacrifice herself, and everything in order to save her child. And she kind of has one of those interesting power sets where like you don't really know what the theoretical limit is of it, right? It's kind of like when you're looking at like a Jean Grey type of like mutant in a way of just like it's their only limit is like their will and their spirit and their like life force. So like you can like absolutely believe that like a mother, especially with like a little baby, could like go super kind of like saying, you know, exponentially like elevate their powers. So it's like, oh, I can believe that one person can like hold Galactus back at least temporarily.
I also wouldn't have put it past like maybe, I mean, this is stretching, like Franklin also helping subconsciously, like being like, yes, I want to help my mom kind of thing, because you know, baby, he's trying to get to his mom the whole time. He's up there after he gets yanked out of the building, but. Anyway, but I for a second there I thought they would like just nix her. I'm like, oh, and then like the next they would do the flash from the Fantastic Four is the 3 remaining, and then Franklin as the 4th, if you would. But I'm glad they didn't. Susan Storm was a great power. She had the great speech. She brought the people back on their side, right? She did that. She also had that really awesome moment in the wormhole where she tells Johnny to kill her, the Silver Surfer. I'm like, oh, they're going for death here, and that's a rarity in some Marvel movies, right? They don't really say, the heroes like, don't say they're gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, it's like she's going after your nephew. She's do something, buddy.
Yeah, it was very believable, and it was very, very, very good.
And the score also supported all of these kind of like emotional beats and moments. We've been hearing that kind of main Fantastic Four like stinger for a while in the trailers, and it just everything felt supported by that all the way through. The internet drives me freaking crazy sometimes, as we've talked about. I saw so many annoying people talk about that one shot where Ben Grimm, the Thing, is like towing that ship on a chain, and everyone's like, what is he walking on? It doesn't make any sense. And people are doing these mental gymnastics. It's like, oh, I bet Sue is making force fields for him to walk across in the ocean. And then it's just like, it's part of a montage, people. Well, and if you just kind of like use context clues in the shot, like basically if you could have watched that clip for 1 extra second in the trailer, you would have seen like him slightly step upwards, like he was hitting the shore. So like sometimes I feel like people spiral a little too much when they're like pulling things out of the trailer. But there were some shots in the trailer that didn't make it into the movie.
There were a lot of shots in the trailer that didn't make it into the movie, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Well, we do know that John Malkovich was cut as the Red Ghost, but we did see one of his super apes get kicked off scaffolding into the water. So he was part of that.
Yeah. I saw some people theorizing that maybe that montage at the beginning of the movie that showed them kind of doing all these fantastic things, maybe before that montage was set off or ever created, maybe it was more of a standardized, like, oh, we're getting a call, let's go defeat, John Malkovich.
I think the guy, Matt Shackman said it was part of that, but it was making the montage too long, which makes sense. Well, you don't want to drag it out forever.
Yeah, I mean, the runtime of this movie feels right on the money to me. Yeah. It's like an hour 55. I don't feel like too much is being asked of me. I feel like it's not going too quick. I'm getting everything that I want from these characters. I mean, we obviously love this movie. We're recommending it. It's not perfect, but I kind of want to talk about like the future. Yeah. Like, where do we think these characters are going to go? What do we think about the mid-credit scene?
Yeah, so the first thing about the mid-credit scene, I will absolutely say shocked me more than anything else, was a 4-year time jump. I could have probably bet that Doctor Doom was going to show up in the Fantastic Four at some point, but not that they were going to jump 4 more years forward, which is awesome, because then we don't have to deal with a baby again. We get a toddler, a 5-year-old, right, going forward. And to me, that is a fun thing to think about. A 5-year-old with the power cosmic is where the future is. And then so obviously, for we're still in spoilers, Sue goes to get a book for Reed, comes back, or not Reed, for Franklin, comes back, and there's a essentially a Doctor Doom holding his mask while Franklin touches his face, which I assume is probably the scarred version of his face at this point. But they did confirm that is Robert Downey Jr. in that cloak. They didn't hide him. They didn't he is actually there. It's not a stand-in. It's not a body double. He was doing that scene. I don't know what this means, Mike, because we got to see Latveria early on in the first montage as well, right? We saw an empty seat at Latveria. And I think this is confirming that Doctor Doom is from this universe, 828, that we will see going forward. What do you think?
Yeah, it feels right. Also, Doctor Doom, kind of like a larger-than-life character, a little bit, not comical in the sense of funny, but like it's a bad guy in a metal mask and like a trench coat. Like
pomp and circumstance. Like he's very like, oh, I'm from a regal, I'm a king in a region somewhere kind of thing. But
yeah, it's like you can see in the other Fantastic Four movies kind of like how they had to back their way into a Doctor Doom that kind of felt not quite right. So this is a great way to kind of create this character and not have to like invent like a Latveria that's always been next to like, we
Wakanda.
have like Wakanda and Latveria. It's been there the whole time. We've just never talked about it in a way, I was a little let down by the final end credit scene only because this movie has maybe unofficially or even officially, I would say, been pitched as like, this is it, folks. This is our last stop on the train before we get to Doomsday. Yes, I know Spider-Man, but this is kind of like the last like Marvel thing, Marvel Studios proper.
The big event that will connect everything. I don't think Spider-Man will be street level for us.
Yeah, and then so we see like the teaser of like Doctor Doom, and we don't see any faces or anything. Like, oh, that's great. Oh, what's this like final end credits going to be? Maybe this will be big. Are we going to get maybe a clip of like Doomsday, or are we gonna get any like what is gonna happen here? And then it's just like kind of almost like a fun like little extended look at the cartoon.
What if they flipped the placement of these two in credits? Would that have made you feel better?
I think that would have made me feel, it would have primed me a little bit better to leave the theater. But still, I was hoping for a little bit. I know like we are in this totally new cultural phase of like end credit scenes, and are they indulging too much? Are they hiding too much of the plot and endings in these end credit scenes or whatever? But it just kind of felt like with this movie specifically, maybe don't hold back.
Well, I don't think they have enough in the can or even confirmed to show what's next. I think I would have gone the other way. I would have. Oh, well, hold on, time out. Thunderbolts, the 2.5-3 minute end credit scene, was that in the middle or the end?
I think it was the end, because wasn't like the Wheaties box the first thing?
I don't know. I need to look this up now because in credits scenes, I gotta look these up because I want to say I thought it was the other way. The second one, the second one is the big one. I think in this one they should have done the cartoon, like the Thing watching the cartoon and saying it's clobbering time, right? Like that's the joke. That's the running joke for this. And then the end credit scene is this one, but maybe it's just a hair longer, like just a little longer. Like just flip them and do it, because I don't think they have enough for us. Like I agree with you. It'd be great if we had more, but I don't think they have it yet for this movie to be out now and the next movie to be out in a year and a half. Kind of thing, because that's what they did with, remember Thor was it, Ragnarok, right? Ended with just Thanos' ship. And that's where they immediately picked up in the next movie. So my guess is the next movie will be them picking up from this Fantastic Four shot. I don't know. Does that make sense at the end of the day, I guess?
Yeah, it'd be kind of curious to see.
But I don't think they're ready. I just don't think they're ready, and that is part of the rub, right? The pushback, the quality over quantity. Let's do Doomsday right.
All I need in the future here with these Fantastic Four characters, which we know are confirmed for Doomsday, I want more Herbie, and I want to see his cassette tape changed more. That was so cool. Like, what a fun little, like, little nugget of like design and like experience of just like, oh yeah, they're gonna change out his tape. I didn't even realize his face was a tape. Like I was that like taken with the character that I was like, oh yeah, his face is a tape. Yeah, that's right.
It's very parallel to when Tony was building all his AIs and he had them as cartridges. But like, you know, Tony went to nanotech later on. But I love the tape. I love the physical stuff. The monitors. The you know, everything wasn't LCDs and nanotech and nanobots. It was very like, this is things we had to build in the 60s, and it fits with it. It's great. I will say, I think one of the end credits thing, I want to know more than Dr. Doom, Mike. Where did Galactus and the Silver Surfer end up? Because they're not dead, right? Where did they end up? What happened? Is he punishing the Silver Surfer? Is he, did he get pushed into somewhere else, like with Celestials? That's what I want to know. Like, where did he go? Because he's gonna come back. He's not done yet.
If I remember the line from Reed, they were gonna send him to like the edge of the universe. I think
that's where they were gonna put their planet, right, against that habitable zone.
Yeah, but within the 2%, I think they said 2% margin of the habitable zone
across the universe
in a different but then I think they also said that they were going to be sending him to like the beginning or I guess end of the universe. They were going to send him like to the very
I thought
end
they were just going to use the same coordinates and just push him through to that.
But since they had to think on the fly and everything, right, and they pushed him through and he popped back out and the Silver Surfer kicked him through.
He doesn't have a ship.
I mean, I could easily believe that they didn't go to the end of the universe. They went to a different universe, right? I could easily see this character like showing up in another universe.
Well, they say he's billions of years old and he's been through the universe, a couple times. I hope they take his ship that's still in orbit and use it, like the Fantastic Four, like they break it down and utilize some of that stuff, and we get to see some Galactus tech. Maybe
that is part of the ship that we see at the end of Thunderbolts, possibly. I don't know. There's lots of speculation of if that's even the team that we just fell in love with during this movie. Are they on that ship?
It could be a remote ship too. Scouter.
I like the idea of, because Galactus in his origin said that he used to be small like them. So he got his ass kicked. It would be kind of fun if the next time we see him, he's maybe not quite as big. Obviously still big, but like maybe he's like more like the size of like a Sentinel, the next time we see him. So you can kind of like, he's a little bit more of a like manageable threat, or at least like, you can punch him. You don't have to like kind of like out strategize him. Like you can just have like a really fun fight with Galactus.
An evolution of the character for sure by the time we see him next. So last bit, I also have one more thing. I didn't realize this. They actually had a guy in a practical thing suit on set whenever they had the thing there, not just the motion capture of Eben Moss Backrack, but that, and they even had a rubber version with the beard that he couldn't grind off because of the power saving. So
I love that beard tidbit was like so funny. Like I don't know if canonically the character, if his rocks grow in the comic books, but it was great to see see it on.
Yeah,
they've
done the beard before in the comic, so it was a fun little reference. But
I loved it. So we got a long ways until the next bit of Marvel, but we had a lot of fun here. I'm really looking forward to see this team, because they're a team. They are cohesive. This is not like a dysfunctional set of Avengers that all have like their own
or the Thunderbolts
kind of motives. Yeah, this is a family that will absolutely, if it comes down to it, just look out for themselves.
They will kill for each other. Yes.
Yeah, so I love the idea of them kind of coming into our main MCU. I can't wait to see them as fishes out of water.
Yeah.
Right? I hope they get to see kind of like our version of New York City, and they're like, oh, God, it's so dirty,
Yeah, you guys got a lot of alien problems here. We don't have that over there with that. But yeah, I think it's great. I think it's been when we started off with Captain America: Brave New World, I was worried for Marvel this year, Mike. But with this, then Thunderbolts, and then Fantastic Four ending on a high note, it's been an upward trend for us. So I think it gives me hope for the next year. We are a year away next July for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then next December, 2 Decembers for Doomsday. So we'll keep you guys posted as we move along that track and get you guys all ready for that. Mike, anything else you want to say? You want to wrap up the show?
Let's wrap it up. Buddy.
Well, if people don't know what you're doing, when you finally get that Fantastic Four bassinet belt that you want for your car, where can they find you at?
Yeah, you can check out my webcomics at pickledcomics.com and liferewardsrisk.com. Chris, if people want to check you out, where are you? Where can they find you at Gen Con next week?
Gen Con. I will be at the Asmati Games booth, but I'll also be posting on my socials at Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or Video Game Systems of the same name. If people want to know more about the show, where we do our regularly weekly episodes, or listen to our Superman review from a couple weeks ago, where can they get all them goodies?
You can head on over to superheroslate.com. That is our version of the Baxter Building. And we have mid-century modern looks all over the place. It's great. You're going to want to sit in our sunken living room and never get up.
A conversation pit, if you will, for the show.
You can listen to all of our episodes on gold printed records, which is a great detail. I love that, dude. Everything about this movie is great. But yeah, head on over to superheroslate.com. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you love it, listening to podcasts. We got merch at superheroslate.com/store. Reach out. Let us know what you thought about Fantastic Four First Steps. What's the second one going to be called? Second Steps? Crawling? Walking? Driving? Learner's Permit? I don't know what they're going to do there. But we love our super fans. If you want to be a super fan of the show, all you got to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we'll be here every week, folks.
That's right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.